what you're gonna say. I can't believe what you're alluding to, Max. Let it out. Let it out. What are you trying to say?
This is my hot take. You just calm down.
He's a truly great fighter. A simple, good big fighter won't beat a truly great smaller fighter. It takes more than size, and Teofimo Lopez is more than just good.
Punches are not made, they are born. And this guy, Lopez, was born to punch. And he's got one other thing going for him, Steven and Max. He reminds me of Pacquiao, Lopez, in a way, not just with power in either hand, but his closing step, his ability to explode. You know, kind of like an athlete in football, basketball, any of those sports where it's not about running a 40. It's about the quickness. It's about the closing step, the burst. He's got that burst. Not everybody's got that burst.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman went back and forth about a possible Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, looking at skill, power, and each fighter's history in the sport.
New York City, January 31st, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. I always say it, when boxing gets it right, no other sport comes close. And this is boxing getting it right. The best fighting the best. Both fighters believe that this matchup settles the argument about who leads the new era. So what do we think of the Styles matchup, guys? This is a high-speed chess match a la Sugar Ray Leonard or Pernell Whitaker, Leonard and Benitez, or yes, Pernell Whitaker, Buddy McGirt, or is it a Jerry versus Jerry?
Stephen A. Smith spoke highly of Teofimo Lopez's defense, pointing out how fast he reacts and how well he slips punches during close-range exchanges.
Made sure to show the world that at 23 years of age, I'm a champion, and you're going to have to come take this from me. I'm not giving you a damn thing. I loved his quickness. We know about Lopez's power, but I'm talking about his quickness defensively. But I saw Lopez being elusive, and I love that because it's one thing for you to have the power and the quickness to go along with the power offensively. A lot of guys can look good until they get hit. There were times where he got hit, and there were other times where He
often mentions that Teofimo Lopez rises to the moment when the stage is the biggest. Smith points to the fact that Lopez is never scared of top-level opponents, bringing up his strong victory over Vasily Lomachenko as proof.
I know that Lomachenko's footwork is exceptional. It's practically unrivaled. So you could see what he's done to numerous fighters, which contributed to them quitting, like Nicholas Walters and others. He tried that with Lopez. It didn't work. Lopez's footwork worked. His speed was there. Some power, obviously. But his elusivity is what impressed me most. The fact that he was able to slip a number, not all, but a number of those
he turned with Lomachenko.
pitches.
He wouldn't let Lomachenko establish his outside foot.
And I loved it.
Yeah, for me, coming into this fight, obviously I always talk to Max about fighting. I love it. I was thinking, and Lopez mentioned it pre-fight, everybody thought it was going to be very Mayweather, Canelo when they fought, and that he would be outclassed. If you look at the first 6 rounds, it was about patience. He was patient. He didn't rush himself. He used his jab, which is something that we aren't used to seeing him.
Teddy Atlas joined Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman and said that Teofimo Lopez's biggest challenge would be facing one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Atlas highlighted Shakur Stevenson's strong fundamentals and said that Teofimo's athletic ability alone won't be enough against someone with such high technical skills.
Challenge lies ahead for Lopez this upcoming weekend.
What challenge? The challenge of fighting, for me, my estimation, the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Either him or Crawford. You choose it, it doesn't matter. You could flip-flop either one of them. They're the 2 top guys. The challenge is to get his bomb to the target. Yeah, like Customano, my mentor, used to say, Teddy, having power is great. But if you don't have a means to get it to the target, it has no value. It's like a military weapon, he used to say. If you don't have a missile, it just blows up and makes a big hole in the ground. So that's the challenge. Get it to the target. Get it to the chin or the body, which might be a good idea with a guy who moves his head so much, but get it to the target with Lomachenko. So keep yourself together mentally with all that going on, with all the chaos stuff coming at you, and don't get discouraged. Don't get frustrated if he's hard there.
Kellerman kept repeating that Stevenson doesn't just win fights, he takes away everything his opponents try to do. Kellerman focused on Stevenson's footwork, timing, control of distance, and ability to set the pace for an entire fight.
Shakur is one of those guys and who comes along, and I think this is really the question about him. I said he is one of those. Is he one of those guys? Like Purnell, like Roy, like Floyd, their defenses were so good, and they boxed in a way where they weren't going to take unnecessary risks. They weren't running and holding. You know, I had a problem with the second half of the Haney-Norman fight because I felt like they continue to box. Purnell did, Roy did, and Shakur does now, right? But when a guy has those advantages in boxing skill and speed, and they don't take risks, they are almost impossible to beat. So no matter who Purnell was fighting, no matter who Roy was fighting, if someone would have asked me who they're going to be, they're fighting Godzilla, Purnell. They're fighting Roy. Shakur has that look to me where, and the style.
Kellerman said both fighters are talented, but he also stressed that Stevenson is not known as a big puncher. Instead, he wins through precision, smart defense, and controlling every situation instead of relying on knockout power.
The difference here is that they're both twitchy, they're both fast, they're both excellent boxers. Teo's a puncher. I know it hasn't shown up in recent fights, but we have watched both of their careers. Shakur is not a puncher.
No.
Teo is.
Teo it can be an explosive, I hit you with a shot you don't see, and you are out cold type puncher.
And talking about power, strength too. I think Teo's going to be the much stronger guy in there. Shakur Stevenson's not a strong guy.
I think he's getting stronger.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
agree.
But this is his first fight at 140, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm not disrespecting
I
his
feel
strength.
like, but I also feel like that Shakur might surprise you, Mike, with his physical strength. Physical strength, as we all know, doesn't always translate to punching power.
Sure, of course not.
But when he was a younger fighter, he looked like he could be moved around by his opponent.
Like that.
Doesn't look like that anymore.
No, he's definitely matured in his body. But first fight at 140, Teo's what? I think this is maybe his fifth fight at 140?
Yeah.
Something like that?
That's true, but Shakur has a frame where he can put on 140 very comfortably.
Max Kellerman also noted that Stevenson enters this kind of fight with more risk because of his technical reputation and undefeated record. Lopez, on the other hand, comes in with less pressure and more to gain, making him a dangerous underdog and making the matchup less predictable.
Is there an advantage there where Shakur is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy? On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before.
Shakur Stevenson has said publicly that this fight means a lot to him and that it's a chance to show he belongs among the very best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing.
People think the fight with Teo is either going to be you delivering a masterclass
or a knockout by Teo.
Yeah, or you getting into some type of brawl with Teo and end up getting knocked out, right? What are fans getting wrong about the matchup?
I think the fans is getting wrong about the matchup is where I'm not sleeping on that I know about Teo. Teo's a good boxer.
Mm-hmm.
He's boxer first. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out. Or he's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main thing. And also the biggest thing that everybody don't realize with me, I could punch.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody say, oh, he can't punch. And then, boom, crack somebody. And then they laying down or something may happen to where they hurt or something like that. So I think that's too big.
Many boxing experts see Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez as a very strategic matchup where timing, energy, and smart decision-making could be the keys to winning.
I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, you know, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does,
Lopez is often described as a fighter who starts fast, uses explosive mid-range bursts, sharp counterpunches, and early pressure. Some analysts question whether he can maintain that same pace for a full 12 rounds. If he slows down late, it could give Stevenson a chance to take control in the championship rounds.
If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Tio looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Tio is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight. You know what I mean? Where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him actually in danger.
People inside the sport believe that fights like Stevenson versus Lopez are exactly what boxing needs right now. Former champion Roy Jones Jr. called the matchup a true skill versus skill event, comparing it to high-level matchups like Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Jones believes that matches like this help boxing's reputation because it puts the best fighters against each other while they're still in their prime.
Start with you, Pierre. Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson getting it on in about 3.5 weeks or something like that. Also on the undercard is Keyshawn Davis, but the main event. Let's jump into the main. Tell me what you're thinking.
You got an ultimate skill fighter versus a boxer who's twitchy, and twitchy sometimes beats out skills. Sometimes that's the side that can really beat a straight up boxer to me. Somebody who's twitchy. Because they don't fight, as normally as most boxers fight. They give angles, body movements, bouncing around like a Lomachenko would done, even a Crawford does, you know what I'm saying, moves different angles and so forth. That's why they can beat a lot of boxers.
Analysts agree, saying that Stevenson and Lopez both have championship backgrounds, fan appeal, and something personal to prove. Their different styles, Stevenson's sharp technical accuracy, defense, and ring IQ versus Lopez's explosive power, speed, and aggression, make this a high-stakes fight. Matchups like this naturally start debates and get both casual fans and hardcore boxing fans interested. When top fighters take real risks, boxing produces moments that remind people why they love the sport.
I don't know who's going to show up what day. What Shakur showing up, or what Tio's going to show up. You get what I'm saying?
Nah, we gonna always Shakur gonna always be Shakur. The offense that we saw from him in his last fight was just, he knew what he had in front of him, and eventually he knew that he was going to be in a position where he could have his way with the kid who was in the ring. I'm losing his name off the top of my head.
Right, I know you're talking about. But I believe he fought that way because he started hearing all the call of him running. He started saying, you know what? Let me stay in the pocket, because he stood in the pocket a lot more than he normally stood in the pocket with that fight. You know what I'm saying?
It took some unnecessary shots.
Huh?
It took unnecessary shots.
Well, okay, right.
Mm-hmm.
But you see what kind of fan base he got after that too. The doubters started saying, you know what? I'm gonna roll with him more, because we were getting tired of him running and skillfully beating people. That gets boring. Like Mayweather did his last 10 fights.
Some fans call Stevenson's boxing style boring, but that view ignores how skilled he really is. He depends on sharp footwork, accurate counterpunching, and smart defense rather than non-stop brawling. Many viewers want constant action and knockouts, which Stevenson usually doesn't chase. His fights can look slow because they're built around strategy and thinking, but this style makes him very hard to hit and very effective at the top level. Stevenson shows that timing and control are just as important in modern boxing as knockout power.
Y'all scared of Shakur.
Nobody's scared of Shakur, bro. Come on.
Y'all be ducking
Shakur's scared of his shadow, bro.
I
Relax,
think y'all
bro.
be ducking Shakur.
Shakur,
right?
you see his last fight?
Come the fans want to see, though.
No, they don't.
Yes,
Stop hyping up Shakur.
I want to see Ryan
Nobody
and Shakur.
I've
Devin
not
and
heard that
Shakur.
at all.
Yeah.
I've never
You
heard
wouldn't
that.
want to see that?
I never heard.
Absolutely.
Hey, nobody on the street has ever been like, yo, Shakur, you would be crazy.
Who should Shakur Stevenson fight next?
I don't think he should fight at all ever again because he just puts the fans to sleep and he's not doing anything entertaining for the damn sport. Honestly, just kick him out of boxing, bro. He's horrible.
God damn.
I'm asking you this. You think Dana would put up with Shakur? He'd be the first one to get kicked out of the UFC, right or wrong?
I would say this. You're right. Dana definitely wants, because it's a promotion, it's an entertainment company.
Okay, boxing's an entertainment company too. He ain't doing the sport a favor, so kick him out.
How would that fight between him and David Haney go?
Honestly, man, if you want to get off to that, man, you better off watching like Gabe.
Amir Khan has said that Shakur Stevenson is extremely talented and brings real skill to the sport. Even if his style does not always excite casual fans, Khan respects Stevenson's precision, defense, and ring intelligence. Khan has also praised fighters like Teofimo Lopez for their power and aggression, but he understands that many fans don't appreciate defensive skill. At the highest level, slipping punches, controlling distance, and outsmarting your opponent are signs of true mastery. Stevenson's success against top opponents shows that boxing is not only about knockouts, it's about skill.
Think about the criticism that Shakur gets. Like, people say that he's
boring and all that.
he's not entertaining.
I mean, look, he's like an Andre Ward style. Andre Ward wasn't really that entertaining, but got the win. I mean, that's what boxing is all about. So I used to love watching Andre Ward fight because it was so punch perfect. I watched his footwork, how he moved to the right, to the left. And I trained with him as well, with Virgil. And I used to watch how he trained and how he fought. And I thought, how he puts his hands there and uses it as a defense and then pulls your hands down and catches you over the top. And them little things. So this is a fight that people get, because you got two different styles. You got an offensive, defensive in Lopez, and you've got a defensive in
Stevenson has been very confident about his training and mindset leading into a possible fight with Teofimo Lopez. He has said that he feels sharp, disciplined, and completely focused, and that this might be the best version of himself the fans have ever seen. He keeps saying that he cares more about execution than trash talk. While he respects Lopez's talent and power, Stevenson has made it clear that every mistake will be punished. He believes Lopez's aggressive style leaves openings, and he plans to use timing and accuracy to take advantage. Stevenson says he will control the pace from beginning to end and deliver a performance that proves his elite status.
That time and then the one above you, but it's in a message to the fans, but I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like, guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's going to have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy trying to like wear me down so much.
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez is coming into this fight with strong confidence and a real sense of purpose. He sees this matchup as a career-defining moment. Lopez says he feels mentally ready, physically strong, and completely in tune with his training. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by expectations, he welcomes the spotlight and believes this is exactly the type of moment he was made for. His mindset shows maturity and hunger, fueled by past experiences that have shaped him. Lopez views this fight not as pressure, but as a chance to show his full skill set, his speed, strength, ring IQ, and competitive spirit, and remind people why he is still one of boxing's top fighters.
It's limitless, so then again, it's like I could always succeed to another level with it, and exceed to it. So it's really just trying to just keep it going, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You gotta have fun with what you do. I love this. I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. This has been 20 years in the making, 20 years in this, and I have so much to do and so much to prove within myself. So mentally, I'm prepared. Physically, I'm more than ready, you know, and emotionally, oh, I'm on fire, you know, I'm on fire with it, you know, because all I ever did was try to be great, you know, and it's no longer trying. I am, you know, I am great. And it's all about just continuing and holding that. So it's all about just staying humble throughout the process, keeping myself level-headed, and really just enjoying each day that we get, because tomorrow's never.
A win over Teofimo Lopez would be a major milestone for Shakur Stevenson. It would add another world title to his career and increase his credibility. It would also help him push for a future fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. Many fans and boxing insiders believe that beating a proven star like Lopez is the final statement Stevenson needs to make the Tank Davis fight not just wanted, but necessary.
Man, what do you say to that, bro? Like, you him, bro. I just can't wait to beat him and shut him up, bro. T.O. not on this level. T.O. is a high-level fighter, but he's not on my level. I'm an elite-level fighter, and come January 31st, I'm going to show it.
You've shown respect to him for his performances in the past, what he's done. He's fought guys like Lomachenko and Taylor. You say that he's not on your level. Why do you think you're on just a different level than him?
Because I seen him at his best. Against Taylor, against Lomachenko, he was at his very best. That was the best he can do. I don't think he can do nothing better than that. So
Self-projection.
what I seen from that fight, I feel like I'm way better than them guys. With Lomachenko, like I said, he didn't throw punches for 6
Objection.
For 6 rounds. So if you ain't throw punches for 6 rounds and you get in front of me,
And you was
I
a
just
fan.
don't know. I would have beat Lomachenko that night easy.
Will Lopez's power and aggression be the deciding factor and help him keep his belt? Share your thoughts in the comments below.